that Drake has ties to this group. He shouts them out. He even wears clothing that signifies that he's a supporter of the Hells Angels. I think this is a trip, y'all, that he's mixed up with this group, which could make things very dangerous. This is the rumor that's out there. People are saying that one of the reasons why Kendrick Lamar has kind of slowed down in making more diss tracks, and the reason why Drake isn't making any more tracks is because there's a hornet's nest in Canada, and that hornet's nest is this white supremacist group called the Hells Angel. Now, here's a man in Drake who tries to act like he's one of us, likes to pepper the N-word, just like his boys that night were peppering the N-word at Rick Ross and his crew. Why would he associate with such a group? I'm hearing all sorts of things, everybody, that the Hells Angels actually are part of his security detail. There's rumors that his security guy who got, I believe, shot, or that they believe that that has something to do with a Crip gang in Canada. A Crip gang, or some type of black gang, Crip gang in Canada. There's all sort of alleged rumors out there in Canada, and that maybe because things are getting kind of crazy and out of hand, maybe this is the rumor, everybody, that maybe they decided to slow things down because now, like Uncle Luke says, it goes from the music to the streets, and the streets ain't music. It's a whole nother level. That's when people get hurt and people get put in body bags. But Drake has been associated with this group. This man right here, this is from a video. There's a guy on YouTube. I'm going to give him credit for this because I'm using some of his video that I'm going to show you tonight. His testimony. Drake has had ties to this man right here on the right side, who is either a member of the Hells Angels or he is affiliated with the Hells Angel. But either way, Drake has ties. They're talking about that Drake uses the Hells Angels as part of his security at home or wherever he goes, whereabouts. That he is deeply tied to them, shouts them out in his music, shouts them out when he's on stage, has worn clothing signifying this group. And like I said, everybody, this is a white supremacist group. And y'all know what white supremacy is. They're no different. They're just white supremacists who ride bicycles or motorcycles in this case. Not bicycles, but motorcycles. Y'all get what I'm saying?
I just got paid $60,000 for my car crash from using this app on my phone. And I don't know if you could see this.
Canada has a strong faction of this Hells Angels group. Let me know if you are aware of this. Put sevens in the chat room. And of course, they have connections in America because we have Hells Angels here in America where it was founded, if I'm not mistaken. This ain't no fun and games just about music and spinning albums, right? Drake ain't built for this type of stuff. Drake is a guy that's in the studio, making music just like Rick Ross, right? But he's been running with some serious individuals who have a serious history. And Drake is tied to it, y'all. So this is why people believe that Drake may have indirectly had ties to what happened to Rick Ross and his crew being jumped at Vancouver in that music festival because there were members of white men who attacked him and his crew that were either affiliated, associated, or members, because there's a difference between being a member and being associated or being a associate, right? Put sevens in the chat room if y'all get where I'm coming from. Let me show you the video. This guy has a podcast again called Original Gangster Podcast. This is a guy who has inside information, and he gives you even more detail than I gave you. I gave you a little summary of what's going on, potentially, allegedly, but he's going to give you information that he has from the inside. And let's play that right now, everybody.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
the
And
truth.
let's tell the truth. This is Info Media Reacts, and I'm here to tell you right now, everybody, let's get ready to react. And here we go.
In a war of words that's lasted over the last 2 months, and things have gotten pretty personal. And it seems like lines were, the lines of decency were crossed long time ago. And in May, there were a number of incidents at Drake's mansion in Toronto. One of them ending in the wounding of one of his bodyguards.
Remember, I told you I'm going to have to stop it from time to time because it's copyrighted content. Remember, I told you all, ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning that, and you all heard about this, that Drake had a bodyguard that was shot. And you're going to hear him talk about the innuendo or the alleged thoughts of where it was coming from. It's very interesting stuff. How Drake is connected to this particular group that has a history that isn't a pleasant history. And I see them as just another white supremacist group on motorcycles, y'all. I must emphasize that. Let's get back to it.
This brings us to his connection to the Hells Angels. And Drake's not somebody that is shy about repping the Hells Angels. He shouts them out in his songs and his rap lyrics.
Boom. Didn't I just say that a few minutes ago, everybody? If you heard me say that, put sevens in the chat room, that he shouts them out. And here's a picture of him with one of the guys that they either believe is a leader of the Hells Angels, has some connections. This is a man who has a criminal past where he lives right near Drake and has a criminal past of trafficking drugs and what have you. The man you see right up here next to him to the right is the man that's right here in this real picture that Drake is hanging out with him. But let me let you hear more.
Into the Hells Angels. And Drake's not somebody that is shy about repping the Hells Angels. He shouts them out in his songs and his rap lyrics. And right now, so there's a picture on your screen right now of a recent video that he put out in this war of words with Kendrick Lamar. Authorities believe that Kendrick Lamar's people were the ones that hired Crips in Toronto, known as the Driftwood Crips, to attack Drake's estate. One of Kendrick Lamar's video albums had a picture of Drake's house on it as the cover art. This seems to be a response to that. What I don't think a lot of people know, and it's not really coming out in the press yet, is that from my sources, Drake's entire security is run by Hells Angels. The picture you just saw, which was a snapshot of a screenshot of the video Family Matters, he's sitting there with his next door neighbor, Andy Carnew,
Annie Carnew, the man right here you see to the right, Annie Carnew. Annie Carnew. He's either a member of Hells Angels, I'm going to say again, or he's affiliated or associated. However, he has been running things for them up there in the Canadian area. This group right here, they've been around for years and years and years. They've got they got chapters all over the country, outside they're international and national. Again, a white supremacist group on motorcycles. They are no joke. They have a history. Check it out. Look at the pictures that I'm putting up. Just some small examples of what they are or what some of them look like. The typical biker look. Andy Cornu, this guy's name is. Why would Drake? I'm going to ask this question to everybody in the chat room. Why would Drake?
Do you know what a hostile workplace looks like? It can be verbal threats and intimidation, undeserved emotions, harassment.
Associate himself with such a group, everybody. I'm not finished with that video, so don't worry. But my question to you is, why would Drake associate himself with such a group like this? His father is black. His mother is Jewish. Why would he associate with a group that has never been a friend to the black man? Hell, his mother's Jewish. They probably don't even like Jewish people in terms of their history. And I'm talking about in terms of their history as it relates to black folks and other groups. Why would he want to associate with that type of outfit, with that type of history, unless he's not like us, y'all? He's not like us.
Tell the truth.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He's not like us. That would make sense why Kendrick Lamar came out with that song, and that you hear this guy say on this podcast that there was some driftwood Crips that they thought were involved in attacking his house where his security guy got shot, that they think that somehow allegedly they believe that Kendrick Lamar has something to do with that because he put a picture of his landscape of his house on the CD cover or whatever. This shit can get more serious, y'all. This is what Uncle Luke is saying about how shit can get real. Shit can get real from this rap type stuff. Shit can get real. Let me just move this back just a little bit because I want y'all to hear what he said again. And here we go.
From my sources, Drake's entire security is run by Hell's Angels. The picture you just saw, which was a snapshot of a screenshot of the video Family Matters, he's sitting there with his next door neighbor, Andy Cornu, who there's some debate about where he stands in Hell's Angels Nation, whether or not he's an official member, an official shot caller. That's all up for debate. But what we do know is that he's very affiliated with the Hell's Angels, made his early fortune back in the late 90s, early 2000s as having the propriety, the trademark, the Hell's Angels licensing for all of Canada went all through him. So any gear that you were getting at that time, he was the only one who had the official licensing of the Hell's Angels.
So this man, Andy Cornu, this man, as he's saying, cornered the market on Hell's Angel paraphernalia and gear, which you're going to hear him say Drake rocks some of their gear and promotes them, that he's made a fortune off of pushing their gear and licensing it. So these white supremacists on motorcycles in Canada, and maybe all over the damn world by now, they have figured out a way to license their shit and get paid off of it. Enough for this man to be able to live in a mansion or whatever right next to Drake. You can't make this shit up.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Once again, to give him credit, this is the original gangster podcast. This guy, I did some research. This guy has legitimate connections into the things that he is talking about. And let's go back.
Mark, the Hells Angels licensing for all of Canada went all through him. So any gear that you were getting at that time, he was the only one who had the official licensing of the Hells Angels to sell that stuff in Canada. He went away for about 8 years on drug and racketeering, gangsterism charges.
He has affinity for gangsterism. He went away on gangster charges. You hear what this man is saying? Racketeering. This is who Drake is hanging out with, y'all. Okay? Y'all hear what I'm saying?